been trying to do this thing for weeks now. It's not even that hard. You've got the time and it's in your head every day. But you still haven't done it. The strange thing is that today you probably did 5 or 6 other things that you didn't even want to do. Like you answered emails, you did the dishes, and etc. So it's not that you can't do hard things. You do hard things all the time. Perhaps even today you did something hard, but you just don't do the one thing. It's dreadful. It feels like it's the hardest thing in the world to do. Maybe you have reached to the point that you feel you're lazy or have no discipline, or that something is wrong with you. Don't worry, I'm not judging you. I've been there 1,000 times myself. But I will tell you right now, that explanation is wrong. And it's been costing you years. Here's the thing. I've had things on my to-do list for months. Literally months and years. The list would get too much wrinkled to the point that I would rewrite it into a new to-do list. I would put it on the desk again or into my pocket just to be rewritten again after some weeks. Not big things. Things that would have taken 20 minutes to do. And I would look at them every single day and just couldn't or wouldn't do them. So I started paying attention to what was actually different about those specific things. You know, the ones that you know you need to do to achieve something that matters to you or something that gets you somewhere. And what I found had nothing to do with effort. I wasn't procrastinating because the task was hard. I was procrastinating because the task was blurry. Anyway, long story short, the fix that I found was 5 words. Yeah, it's literally 5 words. I will show you exactly how to write them in just a moment. There are 3 parts to this. The 5 words, then the thing that makes a task blurry in the first place, and then the third one, which is the reason this keeps coming back. So stay with me. Let's start with proof, because I don't want you to take my word for it. Okay, let's think about the things you never procrastinate on, such as brushing your teeth, replying to a text, making a cup of coffee, putting your shoes on, or answering the door. Well, some of those are boring. Some you don't want to do or you don't like, but you do anyway. So it's not enjoyment that decides what makes us do things. Let me ask you this. What do all of them have in common? Can you spot? Here's the answer. There is no gap between deciding and doing, because you've got a mental image of those actions in your head. Now, let's look at the stuff that's been sitting there. Maybe on your desk, in your head, your back pocket, or on your Google Sheet to-do list. Or maybe on one of your apps in your mobile. And the thing that you've got there looks like this. Work on the side project. Sort out my finances. Make money. Get back in shape. Start the course. Fix the website, etc. Hey, pick up that to-do list of yours from your pocket or wherever you put it and read it out loud to yourself. Now, do they look like the list we just read? Well, if your answer is yes, then let's agree that what you have is not an action list. Every single one is a category, a folder, with an unknown number of things inside it. And you don't know which one to do first or last. You don't even know how many things are inside each of those folders. And you cannot do a category or a whole folder. Nobody can. There is no such thing as sort out my finances, or as make money, or get back in shape. Alright? Let's get back on track to why you don't do that one thing. What actually happens in that moment when you see that dreadful thing that you've been waiting to do is not laziness. You look at the item, your brain goes looking for the first move. It doesn't find one, and it quietly hands you your phone instead, because your phone always knows what the first move is, right? But of course, everything goes south from there, which brings us to the fix. Rule 1, 5 words or less, and a camera that could film it. Let me unpack it for you. Take whatever that's sitting on your list or your pocket and check it against one question. Can this be filmed on a camera? I mean, it has to be something physical that a camera could film it, right? Something that it could see, and not an idea or a vision. In other words, a camera can't film work on the side project because there isn't such a thing. There is no physical representation of work on the side project thing. However, you can point the camera and film yourself while putting on your running shoes, or while texting someone, or while opening a spreadsheet. You see what's happening? Do you see how we need to frame our lists? Instead of sort out my finances, we need to write open my bank app. Instead of get back in shape, it should be put on running shoes. Instead of fix the website, we write open backend of the website. Instead of start the course, we write watch lesson 1 of XYZ course. Notice I didn't make any of them easier. Opening your bank app is not less scary than sorting out your finances. It might be more scary, but it's now something we can have a mental image of it and can do it. And that changes it from a thing you sit on it for a long time into a thing you do it quickly. The 5-word version isn't a trick to make it smaller. It's a translation from a category into a movement, into an action. And here's the part that catches most people. So I want you ready for it. The first action almost never feels like progress. Opening the bank app doesn't fix your finances. Putting on your shoes isn't a run. But that doesn't matter. You're not trying to finish. You're just trying to start. And starting is the only part that often blocks people. Okay, so write your 5 words and go do it. Except you won't and you can't. At least not always. Because sometimes you will write the 5 words, look at them and still not move. Still you won't do it. And when that happens, it means something specific is going on. And this is the part I think almost nobody talks about. And here we come to rule number 2, which is if it stays blurry, you haven't decided something. Here's the thing. Sometimes you try to write the 5 words, but something still feels wrong. That's a signal. It means there is an unmade decision inside that task. And your brain knows it already. But hey, it's easier not to investigate, right? Say you've been avoiding writing that sales script. You try the 5 words, write the sales script, camera test, fine, and you still don't do it. Why? Because you haven't decided what it's supposed to say. You haven't decided who it's for and what the angle it should be. So every time you sit down, you're not doing one task, you're doing a decision and a task at the same time. And the decision is the heavy one. So the real first action was never writing, it was deciding. Yeah. And that reframes it completely. So write the sales script becomes pick one angle, write it down. Now that's 5 words which a camera could see it, and it's actually the thing that was blocking you. Same with the gym. Maybe put on running shoes isn't happening because you haven't decided where you're going to or for how long you're going to be running. So it shouldn't be put on running shoes. Instead, it should be the first action, which is pick the route. All right, do this once and you will start noticing how many of your stack tasks are actually stacked decisions wearing a task costume. And there is a version of this that's harder to admit. So I'll just say it. Sometimes we keep the task vague on purpose. Honestly, you know what I'm saying. Because a vague task can never be failed. For instance, get in shape has no finish line. So you can never fall short of it. For instance, open my bank app. You either did or didn't, and if you didn't, that's on record. So blurry feels safer. It's just that blurry never gets done. So you pay for that safety with years of your life. Alright, say you do both of these. You write the 5 words, you find the hidden decision, you actually start, great, and then a week later, it's sitting there again, blurry, untouched. Which brings us to the last one. Rule number 3. Write the next 5 words before you stop. Let me unpack that for you. Here's what happens. You do a session, you make progress, you close the laptop, and you feel good. Then you come back 3 days later, and the whole thing has turned back into a category, which is work on the project. Blurry again, and you avoid it again. You didn't lose motivation, you lost the entry point. Here's an interesting fact. Researchers who study interrupted work found that once someone gets pulled away from a task, it takes anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours to properly get back into it. And honestly, most people handle many other things before they even decide to return to this one thing that's important for them to do. That's the real cost, not the work, the way back in. So stop paying it. Before you close anything, write the next 5 words. One line. Where would you start next time? Write that down. Not a plan, not a summary of what you did, just the next physical movement. In 5 words, that a camera could film it with clarity and a decided path. I do a version of this with my mornings. My chain is workout clothes, then eye exercise, then joints, then breathing. But I don't have to remember any of that because the clothes are sitting there. And the clothes are the entry point. I never negotiate with a category. I just see the next move. And in my office, the tea. There's a thermos beside my desk. I don't decide to hydrate. The next move is visible. So it happens. That's all this is. Make the next move visible before you walk away. And the vision of you who comes back 3 days from now doesn't have to figure out anything. It just has to do the 5 words. And if you want somewhere to put those 5 words, I made a free 1-page template and it's the first link in the description. The part that matters for this video is the when and where line. For every habit, you write the exact action, the exact moment, the exact place. Not read more, not work on the business. Write the physical thing, the time, the place, because that's what turns a category back into something you can actually do. There's also a small version of each one for the day you've got nothing. It's free. It came out of the same thinking behind the tracker I built, the one that ended up with hundreds of customers and lots of 5-star reviews. But you don't need that now. Start with the free one. So, 3 rules. 1. 5 words and a camera could film it. 2. See if there's a decision hiding in it. If there is, then the decision is the real first step. And 3. Every time you finish the work, write the next 5 words for the next session, next to do. So the way back in is already there. And hey, look, if you've been calling yourself lazy about something that's been sitting there for months, I want you to drop it. You were never avoiding the work. You were starting at a folder, a category, with no first page, no clarity. So pick the thing that's been sitting there the longest and write its 5 words in the comment right now before you close this, okay? I read them and I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious what people are stuck on. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.